गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीरावनचारी जमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Hari Naam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So I'd like to welcome all the devotees for the morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 11, chapter number 2, text 39. We'll recite the verse. Shrinvansu bhadrani rathangapane Janmani karmani jayani loke Gitani namani tat arthakani Gayan vilajjo vicharer asudha Shrinvan subhadrani rathangapane जन्मानि कर्माणि च यानि लोके गीतानि नामानि तदर्थकानि गायन् विलज्जो विचरेत् असङ्गः शृण्वन् सुभद्राणि रथाङ्गपाणे जन्मानि कर्माणि च यानि लोके गीतानि नामानि तदर्थकानि गायन् विलज्जो विचरेत् असङ्गः सुभद्राणि रथाङ्गपाणे माताजी शृण्वन् सुभद्राणि रथाङ्गपाणे जन्मानि कर्माणि च यानि लोके शृण्वन् hearing Saubhadreణ all auspicious Ratha Angapane of the Supreme Lord who holds a chariot wheel in his hand in his pastime of fighting with grandfather Bhishma. Janmani, the appearances, Karmani, activities, Cha and Yani, which Loke in this world, Gitani are chanted, Namani names, Tard Adhyakani signifying these appearances and activities. Gayan, singing. Vilaja, free from embarrassment. Vichare, one should wander. Asanga, without material association. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. An intelligent person who has controlled his mind and conquered fear should give up all attachment to material objects such as wife, family and nation, and should wander freely without embarrassment, hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord, the bearer of the chariot wheel. The holy names of Krishna are all auspicious because they described his transcendental birth and activities, which he performs within this world for the salvation of the conditioned souls. Thus, the holy names of the Lord are sung throughout the world. Purport. Since the holy names, forms in the pastime of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unlimited, no one can hear or chant about all of them. Therefore, the word loke indicates that one should chant the holy names of the Lord that are well known on this particular planet. Within this world, Lord Ram and Lord Krishna are very famous. Their books, Ramayana and Bhagavad Gita, are studied and relished all over the world. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is gradually becoming famous all over the world, as he himself predicted, Prithvi te aache yatha nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar hoibe moranam. In every town and village on this earth, the glories of my name will be chanted. Therefore, in conformity with the authorized statement of this verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Krishna consciousness movement emphasizes the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Along with the Panchatattva Mahamantra, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, this blissful process of chanting the holy names of the Lord without any material conception is called Sugamam Margam, a very enjoyable path. Similarly, Lord Krishna has described the process of Bhakti Yoga as Susukham Kartum, very joyfully performed. And Srila Rochan Das Thakur has sung Saba Avatar Sara Shiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's process for worshipping Krishna is Kevala Ananda Kanda, simply joyful. In this connection, Srila Prabhupada has stated that people in any part of the world can assemble, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, read from the authorized books such as Bhagavad Gita as it is, and accept Krishna Prasadam sumptuously, just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did in Navdeep. To be successful in this program, however, Lochan Das Thakur has warned, Vishaya Chadiya, one should give up material sense gratification. If one indulges in material sense gratification, surely he'll be in the bodily conception of life. One who is in the bodily conception of life will undoubtedly have a materialistic understanding of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, by considering the Lord's pastimes mundane, one will come within the category of Mayavad or impersonalism, in which one considers the transcendental body of Lord to be creation of material nature. Therefore, the word Asanga in this verse is very significant. One must chant the holy name of the Lord without mental speculation. One must accept Lord Krishna as he presents himself in Bhagavad Gita, wherein he states that he is alone Purushottama, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that his transcendental form is eternal. Ajopi San Avyatma. Srila Jiva Goswami has emphasized Yani Shastra Dwara Sat Parampara Dwara Chaloke Gitani Janmani Karmani Cha Tani Shunvan Gayans Cha. If one wants to be successful in chanting and hearing the holy names of the Lord, one must adopt the process as it is, coming down in the Sat Parampara, the transcendental discipline succession. And the Sat Parampara can be identified by reference to the bona fide Vedic scriptures. Contrary to the opinion of uniform critics, the followers of the Krishna consciousness are not mindless or fanatical. They intelligently follow the systems of checks and balance called Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. That is, one must accept a bona fide spiritual master who must in turn be confirmed by the opinion of great saintly persons and revealed scriptures. If one accepts a bona fide spiritual masters, follows the example of great saintly persons, and becomes conversant with the authorized literature, such as the Bhagavad Gita as it is and Srimad Bhagavatam, one's program of chanting the holy names of the Lord and hearing about Lord's pastimes will be completely successful. As Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vedi tattvata Tattva-deham punar-janma naiti mameti swarjana. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in the material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Srila Vaishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has stated that throughout the world of the Supreme Lord, he is known as by many names. Some of them expressed in vernacular language, but any name used to indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without a second, beyond the influence of material nature, can be accepted as a holy name according to his words. That is indicated by the word loke. One should not misinterpret the word vicharit. One should wander to mean that while chanting the holy name of Krishna, one may go anywhere or engage in any activity without discrimination. Therefore, it is stated, Vicharit asangha, one may wander freely, but at the same time one must be one must be strictly avoid the association of those who are not interested in Krishna consciousness or who are engaged in sinful life. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has stated, Asat Sangatya Ehi Vaishnavachar, CC Madhya 22.87. A Vaishnava is known by his complete avoidance of all mundane association. If in the course of traveling and chanting the glories of the Lord, a Vaishnava preacher finds a submissive non-devotee who is willing to hear about Krishna, the preacher will always give his merciful association to such a person. But a Vaishnava should strictly avoid those who are not interested in hearing about Krishna. According to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, those who do not engage in hearing the astonishing pastimes and the holy names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who do not relish the Lord's pastimes, are simply executing mundane, illusory activities or indulging in false materialistic renunciation. Frustrated living entities sometimes take to dry impersonalism and avoid the descriptions of Supreme Lord's eternal name, form, qualities, entourage and pastimes. But if one gains the association of a pure devotee, one gives up the path of dry speculative argument and becomes situated on the actual Vedic path of devotional service to the Lord. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that the word Dvaita or duality expresses the false understanding that some object has substantial existence independent of Krishna. The Mayavadi conception of Advaita, which lacks any spiritual distinctions, is simply another manifestation of the mind's function of acceptance and rejections. The eternal appearance and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead never contradict the concept of Advaiva Gyan or transcendental knowledge beyond duality. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Shri Rupa Bhagavagam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sarvana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sarvana Lita Shri Vishakam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripas Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So it's my supreme fortune to be here in Sri Vrindavan Dham, especially in the holy month of Purushottam Mas. And more than that, I'm supremely fortunate to be allowed this opportunity to serve all the devotees here at Sri Vrindavan Dham. My special gratitude to the ISKCON Vrindavan Temple Management and especially His Grace Dharmatma Prabhu for allowing me to render this service. So I'd like to take blessings of all the assembled devotees, senior devotees, proper disciples who have come here. Kindly bless me so that I can try to speak something on this beautiful verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So today morning we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, canto number 11, chapter number 2, text 39. We already read the purport. It's a long purport. So, the chapter here is entitled as Maharaj Nimi meets the 9 Yogendras. So just to give you the background of what's happening in this chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So the chapter begins by great sage Narad Muni, who is in Dwarka, and he happens to meet Krishna's father, Vasudeva. So he meets his father, and as soon as Vasudeva sees Narad Muni, he is immediately so much happy to see a great devotee like Sri Narad Muni. And he is so inspired to see Narad Muni that he is asking him that please guide me on the topics of devotional service. Please speak Krishna Katha so that I can relish the pastimes of Krishna. As soon as Narad Muni heard that, initially he was reluctant, because who is asking the question? Krishna's father. Lord Krishna's father is asking the question, so he was a little bit reluctant. But then seeing the sincere devotion and dedication and his sincere desire to hear Hari Katha, Narad Muni said, okay, I will speak. Then Narad Muni said that I want to narrate an ancient historical conversation which talks about the glory of bhakti, which talks about the glory of devotion. So let me speak about the conversation between Maharaj Nimi, the king of Videha, and the sons of Rishabdev, the prominent sons of Rishabdev, which were always also known as the Nava Yogendras, right? And then Maharaj Nimi was a king, he meets them, then he also inquires the questions about devotional service, about bhakti, and then the Nava Yogendras, they start answering, right? By the way, the Nava Yogendras, the 9 brothers, we'll just try to hear their names. The first one is Kavi, Havir, Antariksha, Prabuddha, Pipalayana, Avirhotra, Drumila, Chamasa, and Garbhajan. These are the 9 names of the Navayogendras. And in the last few verses, we see that the Navayogendras are answering the questions. And especially, I think Kavi Muni, he is going to answer the query here. So if you read the text number 35 translation, he's talking about the path of bhakti. He's saying that, O king, one who accepts this process of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead will never blunder on this path in this world. Even while running with closed eyes, he will never trip or fall. Can you imagine the path of bhakti? You are running, but he says, don't worry, this path is foolproof. Nothing will happen. So that is what has been explained here by Kavi ji, and then some other verses. He is saying that, whatever one does with the body, words, mind, senses, intelligence, or purified consciousness, one should offer it to the Supreme Lord. We should think about Krishna. Like Krishna says in the Gita, Manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. This is for your pleasure, my Lord. And then he speaks of some other verses. And then we come to today's verse, that is text 39. I'll try to read the translation once again. An intelligent person who has controlled his mind and conquered fear should give up all the attachment to material objects such as wife, family, and nation, and should wander freely without embarrassment, hearing and chanting of the holy names of the Lord, the bearer of the chariot wheel. Prabhupada translates here as the name of Krishna is Rathangapani, one who holds the Ratha. He gave the darshan to whom? Bhishma Dev. Right? And then he says the holy names of Krishna are all auspicious because they describe this transcendental birth, his activities which he performs within this world for the salvation of the conditioned souls. Thus, the holy names of the Lord are sung throughout the world. So the whole theme of this verse and Srila Prabhupada's purport is to briefly describe or the title is Hearing and Chanting the Devotee's Lifeline. This is the theme of what we are going to discuss today. And I'm going to share some of the reflections from the verse and the translation. The first point which came to my mind was the essence of this verse is Krishna is giving instruction, or the verse here is describing that hear about Krishna, chant about Krishna, become fearless and become detached. Right? Nityanand Prabhu used to say, Bhaja Gaurango, chant the name of Krishna, chant the name of Gauranga. So we should try to hear the name of Krishna, chant the name of Krishna, and what will happen when you hear and chant about Krishna? We'll become fearless. And then he says, we'll become detached from this material world. Then Kavi Muni here is telling to Maharaj Nimi that if you want spiritual success in Kali Yuga, then saturate your life with Shravanam Kirtanam. Because the ears and the tongue become the gateway back to Krishna. The ears and the tongue are the medium by which we can connect with Krishna. If you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, the second canto begins with Mangalacharya, where Shukadeva Goswami is just about to speak the Srimad Bhagavatam, just about to begin the Srimad Bhagavatam. And right at the beginning, the second verse, he speaks what we are supposed to do. What is the duty of a dying person? That was the question asked by Parikshit Maharaj. And to that, Shukadeva Goswami is speaking, Shrotaudayadini Rajendra Nrinam Santi Sahasrasha Apashyatam Atma Tattvam Griheshu Grahamedinam. This verse talks about that one should give up the attachment to the material enjoyment like wife, family, nation. And here at the beginning of the Bhagavatam, the first or the second verse, where Shukadeva Goswami is speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, he is saying, Apashyatam Atma Tattvam Griheshu Grahamedina. He says those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, leave many subject matters for hearing in human society. So people have so many topics to speak about, but they hardly speak about Krishna. Then he speaks in the upcoming verse, he says, Deha Patya Kalatradishu Atma Saineshu Asat Abhi Tesham Pramatta Nidhanam Pashyan Apina Pashyati. Shukadeva Goswami is saying that persons who are devoid of Atma Gyan, who are devoid of knowledge of self-realization, they become too attached to this world. And Shukadeva Goswami says that this world is full of fallible soldiers. Krishna's name is Achyuta. Achyuta means infallible. But all the people of this world, whom we are, very confident, he will protect me, he will protect me, she will protect me. Shukadeva Goswami is saying that all are fallible soldiers. That means they will fall one day. Right? And because of that, even when you see, but you can't see. Pashyan api na pashyati. Many times devotees tell a non-devotee, a karmi, that Prabhu, practice Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, this world is dukhalaya. It will be a lot of problems. But then he doesn't understand. For him, the world is sukhalaya. For him, he thinks that the world has only 4 days. Enjoy life. Eat, drink, be merry. Right? But then the devotee of the Lord knows that this world is a place of misery. And the only way to come out of this place of misery is by remembering Krishna, by chanting Krishna's name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the bhakti actually begins with hearing, Shravanam. Right in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, where all the rishis of the Naimisharanya are asking the question to Suta Goswami that what we are supposed to do. And then Suta Goswami is answering, Shunvatam sakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtana hridayantastu abhadrani vidhunoti surutsata. He's saying that just by hearing the glories of the Lord, hearing the Krishna Katha, hearing the holy names of the Lord, gradually the heart will be cleansed of different anarthas. Right? And then again we hear this verse again, Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. That regular chanting of and reciting the verses of the Bhagavatam or Harikatha, the heart will be cleansed. And then we will develop love for Krishna. Tada rajas tamo bhava kama lobhadayaschaye cheta eter avid annavidhim anavidhim stitam sattve prasidati. So in these verses, that when we take to Krishna consciousness, the cleansing process begins. And that cleansing process begins by Shravanam, Kirtanam, then Smaranam, and then the different aspects of bhakti. So the second reflection which I would like to share was, Srila Prabhupada used to emphasize in this purport, and if you see this purport, such a big purport, and Srila Prabhupada has been very clear. He's saying that especially in the age of Kali Yuga, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the easiest and the powerful process. Right? Srila Prabhupada often used to speak about the holy name, and then he spoke about Mahaprabhu's prophecy. What did Mahaprabhu say? Prithvi iti achayadi nagaradi gram sarvatta prachara hoye bemorana. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that, and today we have Krishna conscious movement spread all over the world, all the continents, and so many countries, so many states, so many towns, so many villages in India, Europe, Africa, America, and so many places, Australia, and all of them coming together and chanting the holy name, pleasing Krishna, pleasing devotees, serving prasadam, distributing prasadam. And in this way, the whole Krishna consciousness movement is actually connecting together through the medium of the sound vibration. And this is the way by which we are actually uniting each other. Right? Today the world is facing a lot of problem in the world due to geopolitical issues. One country wants to conquer another country, the other country wants to retaliate, fight. And in this whole situation, the UN is hardly in any picture. And that's why Prabhupada used to many times say that what we are doing is real uniting people. So this is what the United Nations should do. But what we, the Krishna conscious movement, is trying to do is connecting with devotees all over the world and keeping Krishna in the center. And in this way, trying to please Krishna and all the devotees. The third reflection which I want to share is, why is the holy name of the Lord so powerful? Because Krishna is non-different from his name. If you see Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to Vrindavan here, and he instructed the 6 Goswamis to come and write books by the achar, by their example, inspire others, make temples, rediscover the temples and all that. And he told the Goswamis that you write literatures, you write books. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his life, he only wrote the 8 verses, the Shikshashtakam. And in Shikshashtakam, he's only talking about the holy name. And he's talking about what happens when you chant the holy name, beginning from Cheto Tarpana Marjanam, cleansing the mirror of the heart. And then he says, Nam Namakari Bahudani to Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. Right? So he's saying that how the holy name is so powerful. Then in what mood we should chant the holy name? Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadina Kirtaniya Sadari. Srila Prabhupada, when he was in Prague, when he had this Prague pharmacy, one of Srila Prabhupada's godbrother, his name was O.B.L. Kapoor. Later on he got initiated, his name was Adi Keshav Das. So he was very close with Srila Prabhupada. He used to come and meet Srila Prabhupada in the pharmacy. And as you know, what happens in the pharmacy, people come to take medicine and all that. So he used to come meet Prabhupada, talk to Prabhupada, and he told Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, you have so many formulas of so many ailments, so many diseases. Then he said, do you have formula for love of God? And Prabhupada said, yes, I have formula for love of God. And then he took his pen and paper, he said, please give me. And Prabhupada said, the formula for love of God is Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amani Namanati Kirtaniya Sadari. So then of course, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had given so many different verses about glorifying the holy name and how we remember Krishna, we try to serve Krishna. Right? So the famous verse which we always remember is Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinnatvam Nama Naminam. The holy name of the Lord is Nama Chintamani. It's like a touchstone, and it is Abhinnatvam. Right? It's Purna Shuddho. It's pure. It is full of rasa. Right? So that's why the holy name is so powerful, because it is not different from Krishna. Right? And then when we are chanting the holy name of Krishna, Krishna is personally present on the tongue. Not symbolically, not in imagination, but in reality, in meditation. So this is very amazing. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are different verses which glorifies the holy name. In the beginning, I think in the second canto or the first canto, this verse comes. Apanna samskritim ghoram yan nama vishayo gruhan tato sadhyo vimuncheta yad bhibeti swayam bhayam. So this verse talks about that living beings who are entangled completely in this material world, in the cycle of birth and death, they can be immediately freed by chanting the holy names of the Lord. And this chanting of the holy name is so powerful because the death personified, he also fears the Lord. So when you chant the holy name, you don't have to fear the death personified, because he fears Krishna. And that's what here it has been described in this verse, that we should chant the holy name with controlled mind and conquer fear and without attachment. Right? So that has been described here. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a verse which says, Sri Chaitanya Padam Bhoja Madhu Pebhyo Namo Namaha Kathanchit Ashrayat Yesham Swapitad Gandha Bhav Bhavet. So it is said that taking shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet is like honey. So when person who are like dog, he can be delivered. That means when we take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, even a person who is like a dog-like mentality, a person who is so fallen, he can be delivered, and who can taste the lotus feet of the Lord, which is like compared as like honey. One of my favorite episode in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri. And in Jagannath Puri, I think Rupa Goswami comes to meet Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as all of us know, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu every day used to go to Lord Jagannath's temple, take darshan, seeing the Lord from a distance. He used to go in ecstasy. And then the pujari used to give him Mahaprasad. And then he used to go to meet Haridas Thakur. And Haridas Thakur used to chant every day 300,000 names of the Lord. And he used to give personal association to Haridas Thakur, give him Mahaprasad. So when Rupa Goswami came to visit in Jagannath Puri, he said that you should stay with Haridas Thakur. And Haridas Thakur and Rupa Goswami, they were staying. And one fine day when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to meet Haridas Thakur and Srila Rupa Goswami, he saw something extraordinary. He saw Rupa Goswami had written a verse on a leaf, and he had kept it for drying, and he had gone to take a bath in the ocean. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he picked up that leaf which was kept for drying. And seeing that verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into ecstasy. You know what was that verse? The verse says, तुंडे तांडव निरतिं वितनुते तुंडावनि लब्धये कर्णा क्रोध कदम्बिनि घटयते कर्णाम्बुदेभ्यो स्पृहा चेता प्रांगण संगिनि विजयते सर्वेन्द्रियाणां कृताम् न जाने जनित क्रियाधिर अमृते कृष्णेति वर्णद्वयी. So this verse, Rupa Goswami is saying, my dear Lord, when I chant your holy name, I desire millions and millions of tongues. And when this holy name enters my ears, I desire millions and millions of ears. And then when this holy name enters my heart is conquered, my senses are conquered, and I am completely in ecstasy. So that is how much taste Rupa Goswami is having, right? He is desiring millions of ears, millions of tongues, so that he can chant 16 rounds, more rounds, constantly, right? Many times one of the devotees was jokingly sharing that many times devotees chant, let me have millions of hands so that my 16 rounds can be finished in 16 seconds. Let me chant simultaneously with so many hands. But here devotees are saying, let me have millions of ears, millions of tongues so that I can constantly chant the holy name. And when he was reading, Haridas Thakur comes and he's telling, oh Haridas, did you read this verse? Did you read this verse? And Haridas Thakur, he reads this verse. He goes in ecstasy. Now just imagine, a great devotee is so non-envious. Now Haridas Thakur may say, I am chanting 300,000 names every day. This Prabhu has just written a verse, I am practicing. He has just written the verse, he has just composed the verse, but I am practicing. And did you not forget? You only gave me Namacharya name. But Haridas Thakur is saying, oh my God, this verse indeed shows that you have given him your causeless mercy. He has understood your heart, he has understood your mind. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam. It is impossible to write a verse without your mercy. So that is the glory of a devotee who is happy when somebody else is successful. And that is what has been explained in this verse. And then we hear so many verses glorifying the holy name of the Lord in the Brihad Naradiya Puran, the Harir Nam Eva Kevalam verse. Right, in this age of Kali, there is no other way. So many times we have heard this verse. And then of course, the whole section or the episode of the 6th canto of the Bhagavatam, which is the Ajamil Kand, or the Ajamil section, where so many verses have been glorifying the holy names of the Lord. And one of the verse which Yamaraj is telling the Yamadutas, he says, Sankhityam parihasam va stobhanam helanam evava vaikuntha nama grahanam asheshaha sangharam vidu. He is saying that even if somebody chants the holy name indicating something else, Sanketyam, like in the episode of Ajamil, the episode is, he's saying, he's not chanting the name of Narayan, but actually he's calling his son. But Yamadutas came to take him, but Vishnu Dutas came. So that is the power. He's saying Sankhityam, even indirectly, if you name the name of the Lord. Then there is Parihasam. Parihasam means jokingly. Many times people, make fun of devotees. Fun of devotees. Many of us know His Grace Radhesham Prabhu in ISKCON. He is very famous in preaching, in youth preaching and so many things. When Radhesham Prabhu was working in Pune, he was working in a company, and that time there was this issue of Ram Janma Bhoomi. So he used to come with Tilak and Hare Krishna. So there was a person who was working in his office. So seeing him, he used to make fun of him. He used to say, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. And this Radhesham Prabhu 1, 2, 3 times he ignored him. Third time he gave him the Bhagavad Gita. Said, you chant Jai Shri Ram, that means you are interested, you should take this book. Then he gave him the Japamala and then he invited him for prasadam. And he came, he took the prasadam and then he became a devotee. And His Grace Sudama Prabhu is preaching everywhere, chanting, and he has many devotional programs, and especially he speaks more on the japa or the holy name. So I'm saying, even jokingly somebody tries to make fun, he's like that. Parihasam, Stobhanam, like a musical entertainment. Nowadays there is famous called bhajan clubbing. Right? There are people who chant bhajan, So even somebody is interested to indirectly hear bhajan or the holy name, he is inspired, he gets the benefit. And helanam, even neglectfully, he chants, then he gets the thing. The last verse of the Bhagavatam, which is the essence of the Bhagavatam, which talks about the ending words, the glorification of the Bhagavatam is Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Shamanas Tam Namami Hariparam. He says, I offer my respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Lord. By chanting the holy name, all the papas, all the paps or sinful reactions are destroyed and we can be delivered. So like that, there are different verses. And then we see here that how holy name is medicine. Many times when we take the medicine, it is bitter. Right? But when we continue to take the medicine, then slowly we come back to normal. I think Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrit, he says, when a person is suffering from jaundice, even the most sweetest of all sugar cane juice becomes bitter. But then when he continues the treatment, that starts tasting sweeter. So similarly, many of us, or at least me, in a struggling stage, we have no taste in the holy name. But then when we gradually, in the association of devotees, we chant, slowly we try to develop taste. Very important verse, or the word Prabhupada is translating here is Vilajja. Vilajja means you should chant openly, not with shame. Many times, when we go outside, we put tilak, we are sometimes thinking, what will people say? When we take bead bag in the train or different places, we feel, what will people say? Let me hide it, right? But then Prabhupada said we should be fearless. Why should there be any shame in practicing Krishna consciousness? Right? People have no shame to smoke cigarette, to drink alcohol, to do all these heinous activities on the streets. But why should we do all this? Why should we be afraid? So like that. So to conclude, what we should do, we should guard our tongue, we should use our tongue for tasting Krishna Prasadam, Kirtan, chanting the holy name, glorifying Krishna. And then what we should do by tongue, avoid criticism, gossip and harsh speech. We should not hurt devotees like that. So in this way we see how the holy name is so powerful. I always share this story when I was working in a company. So when I used to get off during the lunch time, there was a Krishna temple nearby my office. So what I used to do is I used to go near the Krishna temple and I used to chant extra rounds there. So 1 day, 2 day, 1 week, sometimes I used to go. So the local pujari there used to see me 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. And once he came, he smiled and he said, you're chanting mantra? I said, yes. Then he said, everything okay? Do you have Shani Dasha? Do you have Sadi Sati? Do you have some problem? Any problem? I can do, he said. I said, I have no problem. So in India, when you do something, people think there is a problem. But the real thing is, we chant the holy name so that we can free from all the problems of the material world. So that is the problem, right? So that's why the holy name is very powerful. We always hear this pastime of His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj. That Giriraj Maharaj used to mention that Sethiji, the famous Sethiji who helped Srila Prabhupada, he once told that there is a famous Kirtan group which is called as the Radha Madhav Prem Sudha Sankirtan Mandal. Once a week on Sunday they do 12 hours Kirtan. And he told Giriraj Maharaj and he told Prabhupada that we should invite them to our Radha Ras Bihari temples, they can do Kirtan. And Prabhupada agreed. And they came on a Sunday from morning 6 till evening 6. They did constant Kirtan. And I think in 2 hours they do Braj songs. And Prabhupada from his quarters on the 5th floor, he heard, he liked it so much. And Prabhupada called Sethiji. And he told them, tell them to come here every day and chant 12 hours. He said, Prabhupada, all of them are working. And once in a week when they get holiday, they do Kirtan. Prabhupada said, tell them that we will maintain them for whole life. Let them come here and chant the holy name, do Kirtan. And then some of them, they said, thank you for the opportunity, but we have to go home and all that. And then Prabhupada called Giriraj Maharaj. He said, what is the name of this property? He said, Prabhupada, Hare Krishna land. That means constantly there should be Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then he said, we should start the 12-hour Kirtan. Then he said, Prabhupada, so much service, this and that. Then said, okay, let me bargain. At least once a week, 12 hours you should chant. Sunday. And then Giriraj Maharaj said he was relieved. And then he started the thing. And then Giriraj Maharaj shares his experience that when he was the temple president, lot of issues, lot of problems. People used to say, this is not good, this is not good. And then anybody used to come to him, he used to say, we will meet on Monday. Sunday we'll do Kirtan and Monday we'll discuss. And then he noticed that all the people used to come with the problems. It reduced like anything. Because Sankirtan solves all the problem, and that has been described here, that Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranasham. And we are so extremely fortunate here at the Krishna Balaram temple. Here we have 24 hours Kirtan, and thanks to all the dedicated devotees, especially His Grace Anant Prabhu, who started it, and all the devotees are continuing it. So that is very, very important here. And lastly, I want to share this pastime of His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. The Sachinandan Maharaj, once he was serving Srila Prabhupada, and many times you should see Prabhupada used to chant, by morning walk, or he used to chant constantly. So he was thinking that Prabhupada said we should chant always, and he also saw Prabhupada was chanting. So one day, Srila Prabhupada was taking rest in his room. So Sachinandan Maharaj thought that if Prabhupada is resting, let me go and see whether he is chanting even in his sleep. So he went close to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was asleep. And as soon as Sachinandan Maharaj came, and Prabhupada started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna in the stream. And immediately he opened his eyes and he caught Sachinandan Maharaj. He said, you came to check on me, right? You came to test me. He said, no, Prabhupada. Then he said that our movement is to always chant the holy name. And he said that we should try to chant, and then slowly the habit will come so that we can chant in the night. So that's why the Sankirtan, the Japa is there where we try to chant on our own, but the Sankirtan is considered as the king of all Harinam, and that's very, very important. So to conclude here, we discussed about the verse by Maharaj Nimi and the Navyogendras, which talks about the holy name, which talks about giving up the Sangha and try to be freed by the association of the material existence. And in this way, we try to take shelter of the holy name, Krishna, and we will be purified and we will develop taste for the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. So it's already 9 a.m. So in case if anybody has any questions, they can personally ask me because it's already late. I'm here. Thank you very much. Thank you.